Hi, my name is Gretchen McCord, and I still oversee all of the programming here at ArcLight Cinemas. And we have a very special treat for you tonight. We hope you enjoy the film. And to give you a little more insight and a deeper look into the film, we have three very special guests for you. Peter Berg, Mark Wahlberg, and Simmons are here to tell us a little bit more about the film.
I've talked about this movie way too much, so JK.
It's a good movie, you just saw it.
Well, I first wanted to open up with these are real people and a real story. And I heard, and Peter, I'd like you to tell the audience a little bit more about the process that you went through and what was so important with Mark introducing you and bringing you into Boston and portraying these people in such a real way.
Right, okay. Well, thank you, and thank you guys so much for coming. And I think you're the first audience that's actually come to see the movie, and we appreciate it so much, and it's a pleasure for us to be here. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for staying so much and not being running out of there. It means a lot to us. This is Mark and I have done 3 movies now that are nonfiction. We did Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, and now Patriots Day. And I care about all of them very much and love them, but this film hit a bit deeper. When we were finishing up with Patriots, with Deepwater Horizon, Mark suggested that we come and take a look in Boston and meet some of the folks who were involved in the marathon bombing 4-day saga, and I was interested. And Mark took me in because he's so beloved in Boston and he's such a favorite son. I had the privilege of having so many remarkable people open up their lives to me. And the survivors, families of the victims, the police officers from Watertown, which JK portrays, the police from Boston, the FBI. We got a really incredible sense of this community. And it started to click to me as a director in terms of that theme, and so much of that theme, revolves around this new unfortunate reality that we live in. That this is the new normal. That we're no longer shocked when we wake up and hear that a truck, killed a bunch of innocent people in Germany. And these stories now are happening. These events too often, and what Boston and what Mark Wahlberg was able to show me. Because these problems are so complex and hard to stop. But as a dad, I look to try and offer some context and perspective on how we move through this as a group and as a community. And what I learned very quickly from Mark and from Boston, and I hope you got a taste of it in the film, is that what the unintended result of these acts of terrorism, these cowardly, barbaric acts of just sheer lunacy, what the unintended result is that they actually bring us all together, and that love does rise, and love triumphs, and the very best of ourselves comes out. And I believe that with all my heart now, and that was a result of being fortunate enough to be taken by Mark into this remarkable city and meet these people.
There's so many pieces of this film, and as I was preparing questions, just getting choked up and wondering how. I know, Mark, you went back just the next day, a couple days after the bombing happened, and then you were all there this past year for the marathon. Can you talk a little bit about that and how the city's changed and how that played into how the movie, the feeling we got out of the movie?
As soon as I got word that this attack happened in my hometown, immediately went the next day. because it's such a small community. Everybody knows somebody who was directly affected. So I had never seen my hometown like that. I mean, it was pretty much deserted when I came out of the airport, and it was just an eerie feeling. But you know, to see how my city responded, how people came together, I was so proud, and you know, so proud to call myself a Bostonian, seeing how people ran towards the problem. And then Pete and I were talking about this earlier at dinner. We were at the marathon this year filming, and we were allowed to film up until a certain time, and then they wanted the cameras and the crew basically away from the finish line, certainly around the time the actual bombs had gone off, because this was not a thing where the bombs went off when the ordinary average people were running basically for a cause, and everybody for a different cause, but just imagine running a marathon and taking on that challenge. You know, the elite runners had long finished and been done, and we were sitting there, and they asked everybody to leave, but we asked if, you know, just Pete and I could just stay, and we watched Patrick Downs cross the finish line on a blade, on a running blade. And I literally, I mean, the year after the bombs went off, he and Jessica both did the race on bicycles where they had to pedal with their hands. And I didn't know if I could, I don't know if I could still to this day, I mean, people think I'm in shape. I don't know if I could do it on a pedal bicycle, you know? And to see him run the race on a blade like that. But the most inspiring thing that we saw was him, you know, running into Jessica's arms, and that love and that hope, and just they radiate so much love and hope that it's remarkable. So to kind of see my city respond in that way, and know, and just be, you know, reminded of what the story was about and why we wanted to tell this story, was a very, very special experience.
And one thing. One thing that you touched on is these real people, and they were there to watch a marathon. You mentioned other films that you guys have worked on together, where those people knew they were taking a risk to, you know, be a soldier, to work on the oil rig, and this was us. This was all of us going to support our city on Patriots Day, going to, you know, support our friends who are running. How was that different from the real stories you portrayed in your last film?
Well, I mean, just for the exact reason that you said, you know, Mark and I were privileged to spend so much time with the Naval Special Warfare community and the Navy SEALs and their families, and you know, these are extraordinary people, but there is the expectation of violence, and sometimes even the desire for violence. SEALs like to get in gunfights; it's what they do. And for the 19 SEALs that lost their lives in Operation Red Wings, that was, you know, a very, very, you know, horrific and sad experience. But the families were able. There was a mechanism for the grief. So, with the oil rig workers of Deepwater, again, very dangerous job. There was some expectation of danger, and there was again a mechanism for handling this loss of life. But it was a bit unprecedented, but they did know how to do it. And you know, Patriots Day. I mean, imagine you're with your family and you've got an 8-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter and your wife, and you're having a wonderful time. It's a spring day in Boston, and you're cheering on. And for anyone that's never been to a marathon finish line, they're very joyful places. You know, people are running for all kinds of personal reasons. We saw two different couples. The men got on their knees and proposed to their girlfriends right there in front of us. I mean, it's a very celebratory environment. And to think about being hit with such a cowardly sucker punch like that, and to go through that where there's absolutely no mechanism in place, and suddenly what was a very joyful, slice of American life, the very best our country can offer, I think, turned into a war zone. And this really was us. These were the people you see at Starbucks every day that were hurt, and that made it, I think, for all of us You know, we took it hard. We felt very inspired and respectful by this community.
Let's talk a little bit about the characters. JK, you play the sergeant from Watertown. Sorry, I'm going to screw his name every time.
Yeah, it's Pugilis.
Well, Pete and I spent 4 months mispronouncing his name.
Probably Mr. Lazy for a long time.
And he doesn't mind. He's used to
Well,
it.
no, his name is actually Pugliese, when he, you know, because it's an Italian name, but when his dad was in kindergarten, the Irish Catholic nun said Pugilis, and he went Pugliese, and the Irish Catholic nun said Pugilis. So that's what they go with.
Become friends and stay friends.
Oh, yeah, Jeff, I mean, once Pete laid out the whole story of what Jeff accomplished for me, and by the way, blow by blow, everything that happens in that Watertown gunfight that you see me doing is what this guy did. It still boggles my mind. That level of courage under fire is just, you know, thank God there are guys like that out there. Yeah, actually, I think Jeff, I heard he did a Q&A in Boston earlier tonight, so,
Yeah, he doesn't have the cool walk that you have. I don't. It's not that accurate.
yeah, you know, I was trying to get it down. I grew the mustache, you know. And he taught me how to shoot a gun and not look like a Nancy boy. It just happens that this guy, you know, who, you know, he was on his way home in his minivan smoking his horrible things that he smokes, and here's the call. Just, you know, he keeps his police radio on until he gets home, and then he turns it off and goes and kisses his wife, and, you know, he's done for the night. He just happened to make that extra stop, happened to hear the call. He hears shots fired, you know, pulls the 180, and there he is at the scene. And it just happens that he happened to be the firearms instructor for the department. So he was the right guy in the right place at the right time.